Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Movie Chats with Ant and Rye. This week we are diving into 2024's The Order, directed by Justin Kurzel, who we've come across in the past, and starring Nicholas Hoult and Jude Law. Justin Kurzel, sorry, I should say, directed Nick Ram, which we was one of our first podcast movies that we did.
Yeah,
Um, Quite a lot of technical moments in this film I absolutely loved. I think it did some really, really good things. Uh, the cinematography,
mhm.
looking at the vast scapes of you've got Colorado, Idaho,
Yeah.
Washington, the I think it's the Midwest, the North Midwest, I think of America, I think it's called
Yeah, it's like north. Actually, it's north.
Northwest.
Yeah, going to the west because like Washington and Oregon, they're definitely above California. Colorado is a little bit more towards the center, but near the Rocky Mountains and stuff. So yeah, like that part, the Yellowstone area. That's how I would
Yeah,
describe it. And I'm nowhere near a U.S. geography expert.
yeah.
Just to put that out
I'm
there.
not. Yeah, I'm ditto. Not a. I had to Google Maps to find where these states were and how far away they were from each other, and but yeah, it was just beautiful just to
It's a
watch.
beautiful region. Yeah.
Yeah, and which is surprising considering some of the themes that the movie goes into as well. You've got that kind of beauty versus, you know, kind of almost
Ugliness.
terror,
Yeah.
ugliness. Yeah, that it contrasts it really well. I think that they managed to just contrast those two very beautifully. I think I'm using the word beautiful too many times, but it just was. Um, I really like Justin Kurzel's direction. There's a few moments where he does some shots of the outside of the car, and the kind of the camera is kind of attached to the car as doors are opening. Yeah, it was just another moment I really enjoyed. I'm about to clear my throat, everybody. Mm. Um, is there anything you'd like to add at the moment, or is that something that you want to
Oh,
build on?
the direction is nice. Uh, there are a few things that I liked about the movie. I have a few grievances as well that I would air later, but keep going.
Um, the action. You've got a couple of bank robberies, those armored truck robberies, just the way that they were choreographed and filmed, and just from inside the truck to outside the truck, those kind of moments.
Yeah,
You, it was so engaging to follow along with it.
those ones are like the most memorable moments, I think, when they are, the first when they're robbing the bank and then when they are intercepting the truck carrying all the money and they put the thing on the road that then is like the spikes that go through the tires of the cops. Where at first I was like, why are they doing that? And I was like, ah, yeah, it makes sense. So yeah, it's all very planned and detailed and yeah, choreographed. That was very intense and very good.
And not to mention the score that plays alongside of it as well. So the score is actually by Jet Kurzel, who is Justin Kurzel's brother. I believe he did Knit Ram as well. So I think we
Mm,
might have touched on the score when we were doing that movie as well. But I love the score.
potentially.
I think it was just, if anything, I could say it was maybe overpowering at some stage, which
Mm,
wasn't isn't a bad thing, but it's just the score really stays with you.
yeah.
Um, and even the sound. There's quite a few moments where diegetic sound is more. It really focuses on that diegetic sound, especially when Jude Law's character and Ty Sheridan's character find the body. He's listening to the sound of the crickets and he's listening to the
Mm,
sound of the nature. That's how he finds the body, and it was just so very well done. Just those little nuances to the film that
yeah.
you're not even thinking about, but just the technical aspects to put that all together just done very well.
Yeah, yeah. Um, it was good. I had a couple of things around, let's say, the direction that I thought were a bit strange. The deer stuff, I think twice you have Jude Law about to shoot that big deer. It's once within the movie and then it's towards the end. I'm sure there is some symbolism in there. I don't get it. It came across super weird to me. I was like, what is that? What are you trying to say?
Yeah, because he never really announced anything about doing that kind of stuff. He was never really, I'm going to go hunting, and it was never
We don't
really
know. Is it
part of
about
his.
hunting? Is the deer supposed to symbolize Nicholas Hoult? Is it about his past? Is it about, I don't know. There is nothing about this character that makes me feel, oh yeah, I really get the symbolism that for me just came across as that's odd. Um, so that was like a strange moment. I think there was something as well, or maybe I didn't really understand it. Uh, After the first robbery, there is a guy in the car that get his head blown off, right? And then that is never brought back. We don't know who it is. They managed to clean the car for it to be spotless without any DNA. That was also, it felt like a hole in the story for me. And I don't know what to make
It
of it.
it's to the point where I don't even remember that happening. That it was that much of a non part of the movie that I only very vaguely remember. Ah, yeah, I do kind of remember that happening, but it because it was.
I don't know. It's like, it's all of a sudden it's a pulp fiction moment. And then it's never been brought up. It's like, what the hell is that? It's just not, it's not connecting to anything. So I'm not sure why it's in the movie at all.
Oh, you're not talking about early when after they've no, that was a die pack.
That
It
was
was
a
a die
die
pack.
pack. He said it was a die pack to the woman, but I thought it was lying to her. I don't know. Maybe I should have rewinded because it's
Was
just,
it? Was it not a die? Because that's what I thought I saw that as well. I had to rewind it, and then he said it was a die pack.
yeah, you said
Was it?
it. I just thought it was somebody that, okay, let's drop it.
Okay,
But yeah,
there you go.
that was a bit, for me was, I don't know. I would go back in there. I hope this is a die pack. This is really, and he was telling the truth when he said it. Even though it looked a lot like blood when it comes to the house. I
God,
don't know.
yeah,
Maybe they should have put the dye blue so that
yeah,
it's
because
a bit,
because aren't die packs traditionally blue or purple? That's why I actually at one stage I was like, why is the die pack red? Well,
yeah,
yeah, because that was. But circling back on Terry Husk's, who Jude Law plays, um, I think it was because he was a character written for the movie that they didn't deliver his narrative arc as well as they could have. There's too many things about
mm,
him that aren't really explained. His health problems, obviously, he's taking
yeah,
pills, he gets the nosebleeds. You
yeah,
can see
true.
in one stage where he's got the scar down his chest. I thought that they were going to bring that up because I'm making notes. Oh, what's the scar? What's the pills? What's the nosebleeds?
Yeah,
And it's never brought up. If you're not going to have those little snippets of it and not explain it, it kind of does the character a bit of a disservice. Because I
mm,
know I quite liked Jude Law in this character role. I thought, this is actually he's of an age now where he can play that kind of beaten down. I've been a cop for 30 years, and he
yeah,
had that kind of. He's over it. He's been there, done that. His accent was probably just not as good as it could have been. It wasn't
yeah.
terrible, but there was just no dialect behind it. It was just an American accent.
There's a bit weak. You could hear some words that are coming up sounding English. And I mean, Pujat Law is against Nicholas Hoult. That seriously, I mean, I'm not American, but for me, it sounds flawless. You wouldn't tell me, you wouldn't tell me that he's English. I wouldn't know. I would picture him as American.
See, I didn't think that his accent was that believable to
Really?
my. Yeah,
I'm not a
I've
native
seen
speaker. Maybe not.
yeah, and I'm not a linguist, so but I kind of I thought he struggled a little bit myself, but that's just
Really?
how I thought. Yeah, that's just maybe I'm just got high expectations from these movie stars.
True,
Um,
but yeah, to come back to the character of Jude Law, yeah, I don't know. They gave him a little bit of a backstory, but I never got to care for it about how he fell apart with his daughters, or it's like, okay, you're here, you're just a cop to make the story move forward. I'm not that interested in your backstory, and then there is no resolution that is actually being brought
yeah,
up. So
yeah. So yeah, why even bring up? I've got my daughters, I've got my wife. I want to bring them out here, and they don't come out here. Like what? Why? Why bring that up if you're not going to resolve it? Whether
yeah,
it was whether it was a deleted scene where they were going to,
and it
it
doesn't
just
bring anything to the story or the character. I mean, you can bring a bit of a backstory. What is interesting is why he set up where he is because he thought that it would be a bit more cruisy, and then he can try and reconnect with his family. That's interesting. That makes you understand why he's here and he came across something, blah blah blah. But yeah, you're right about the nosebleed, about this. It's never really explained. It doesn't really bring anything. You want to give him some health problem, just make it come back in your story as to he can't really keep up in the chase or something like that. I don't know, make something of it. Just not, oh, it's there we because we couldn't. We wanted to make him more interesting, and it's just a plot device to do that. Doesn't really work.
um one thing that probably people might not mention that I loved about it was how progressive it was towards female characters. You've
Mm.
got Joe, who is played by who was she played by? Hang on, where is she? Played by Jenny Smollett. That's uh, Jude Law's boss. I thought she was brilliant. I
It's
really
good.
liked her character.
Yeah.
It's ironic that the actress Jenny Smollett is herself Jewish. So you've got this whole film about white supremacists who are against the Jews, and you've got a actress being played by a Jewish character. Um, you've got Ty Sheridan's wife. I can't remember her name in either character name, but how she's a really strong character too, where she doesn't like Terry at all. She's very, I don't know, she doesn't trust him. She doesn't really like him, and then she has that obviously moment. I won't spoil it, but there's a moment where she has a very powerful moment with Terry at near the end of the film. Bob's got his wife who she's very complicit in his white supremacist organization to the point, she's looks to, as uh, Bob is teaching the kid how to shoot a gun. They're reading the white supremacist book. She's very, that's fine. That's part of our life.
Yeah. That was a
Then
disturbing
she,
scene, actually.
yeah.
The learning the kid so young how to
Oh,
shoot, well, especially
right. Yeah.
from, I guess, a non-American perspective. Maybe it's a bit
Yeah.
more common because, like in America, and I would really describe the film as a slice of Americana. Uh, but from an Australian perspective, it, both me and my wife were like, "What? What's crazy? What the hell?"
Yeah. And again, it comes back to that's a theme that the director has done in his past movie as well. So where guns were they became a bit of a central focus, where that was the central focus of Nitram. Here again,
Yeah,
you've got it's ordinary, it's commonplace for people within these culture groups. They're gonna be playing with guns. It's just
yeah,
it's actually yeah, it's frightening to watch, and that it's just yeah, that's fine. My husband's showing my son how to shoot a gun, and yeah,
yeah.
she does have her moment later on where I'm not too sure whether I believed that that would have actually happened, where she turned on him and she kind of gave him up to the police. Would that have really happened? And did that really happen in the real
Yeah,
life? 'Cause-
I, yeah, I'm not sure. Um, yeah, talking about progressing female character, what did you think of, let's call her the mistress, the one who is pregnant with his baby? Because especially when she gives birth and she's saying, I'm sorry, it's not a boy. Oh,
Yeah,
that doesn't
because
sit well at all.
because that's probably what a a person in that situation probably would have exactly thought. And so for him to go, "Oh no, she's beautiful," it's like
Mm.
it almost gives Bob a bit of humanity. He's
Yeah.
such a, you know, this power horse of a person who is leading people to do all these horrible, nasty things, but at the same time, he's still actually a father. It kind of shows that he's got some humanity in him. He's not this ultra, almost cartoonish villain. He's
Yeah,
still a
he's a
person.
person. He just
Yeah,
is blinded by his cause and what he thinks is the root of everything that is wrong with society or the way that he perceives it. But deep down, he believes that he's doing the right thing.
yeah,
He's a person.
definitely. Yeah. Um, all right. In terms of their performances, I had to go back and watch it again. Kind of, I watched it a little bit today to just really get into how good Nicholas Holt's performance was,
So good.
because it's so good, especially his eyes. His eyes tell the whole how his character is feeling. It's like there's a few moments where there's when he's talking to Father Butler out in the paddock while one of his comrades has got the gun on the father, and it's just like he's going away from the flock. Basically, he's doing his own thing, and it's just like it's just yeah, you can just see it in his eyes. And then there's that moment where the white power chant, "Victory forever, defeat never." Oh, it just gives you kind of chills on the back of your neck when he's doing that. It's just brilliant.
Yeah, he's very good because he's not laying it on too thick. It's a lot of expression, and the way that he's talking feels very real, even though, hey, in the background, he's doing very evil things. But he's such an interesting actor. I mean, when you're thinking about his beginnings to like sweet, chubby English kid in About a Boy with Tony Collette to now tall, lanky, American Nazi, he's gone a long way, and he does it very well. He's so good in this role.
Yeah. I think all the characters really and all the actors did a pretty good job. Like, and you've
Yeah,
got such a great screenplay behind it. Even characters like Jamie, who is the cop that what's his name, Jude Law kind of takes under his wing. Even he gets such a nice, well-written kind of. You get to know him as a character as well, and so you get to know his wife. Obviously, his wife doesn't like Jude Law. He's got a
yeah.
son. He's one that brings the white supremacy group to Jude Law, and when that moment happens, I'm not going to spoil it for anybody that hasn't watched it. It
I'm gonna
really
spoil it.
hurts. You're gonna spoil it? Fine, go
I'm
ahead.
gonna spoil it because I want to talk about it.
All right.
So spoiler, if you haven't seen the movie and you don't want any spoil, just like turn it off, go watch it, come back and listen. Uh, he gets shot when they're chasing Bob, right? At the motel. I could see that he was gonna die from a mile away. And it happened and it pissed me off. I did not like that part because it is such a cliche. It's almost like the cop that is about to be a dad is gonna die. the cop that is about to retire is going to die. I could see it from the moment that they came to the hotel. Even before, I had a feeling, I don't know why, I think this character is going to die. And then when they came to the motel and they started the chase, and he started going at the front, and Julo was telling him, "Hey, don't go too fast." I was like, "This is gonna happen. This is gonna happen," and it did. It was not well written, and it took the emotional impact away from me. I was like, "No, no, don't do that." I did not like it.
Yeah, fair enough. It actually made almost because both the cops were written for the screen. It almost could have been, well, anybody can die now because I know that
Mm.
Jude Law's character was a fictional character. I thought at one stage that he was going to die as well. So especially when they go into the barn at the end when it's on fire, I thought that maybe he was going to die as well. But
Yeah,
spoiler,
and that
he
would have
doesn't. He
made
doesn't die.
sense as that he
Yeah,
doesn't. Yeah,
he,
and if we're talking about that ending as well, I thought it was a little bit anticlimactic. Anticlimactic. All right, I can't say that word,
that's all
but
right.
I'm sure you get it.
You are not born in Australia. You're allowed. It's your excuse. Okay, I can
It's
only
my
speak one
excuse.
language.
Um, but I thought it was a little bit underwhelming. You have the house, you have this bit of a shout out, which is good, and then the house catches fire, and the face off at the end is just Nicholas Hoult just locking himself in the bathroom, going in the bath with the mask, and he's just gonna burn alive. And Trinlo is going. It's like, really, this is how it ends. The confrontation is all that is. It's okay, but I don't know. I have a feeling it could have been done a bit more with a bit more oomph. That makes sense.
Yeah. Well, that's how the real Bob Matthews actually did die. So he actually did die in a
I
fire.
know,
So
I
so
know.
that
It's just the
I
way that it
suppose yeah,
it's just
it
the way
could have
that it
been.
was done. It's you can still like be true to the real story and make him die in the fire, but this sort of Jude Law is going in there and they're looking at each other, and then it's just like, I don't know, do a bit of something else, have a bit of dialogue, or don't make him go just like that. I don't know. It's something that was okay, but it didn't 100% work for me.
Fair enough. Um, is there anything else you would like to bring up? No,
Yeah.
well, that's just one or two more things I'll bring up. Obviously, it's set in 1983, 1984. How believable did you find the time era setting?
I thought it
I
was
thought,
brilliant. I really like it. And we've talked about that several times. I don't necessarily like when you can feel that they invested a lot into the sets and the clothes and and that they're shoving it in your face. Here, it felt like it was a story that was set in the 1980s, but it didn't overpower the actors or the story. It was just there in the background and very believable for me. What did you think?
yeah, same. It was never really. There's probably a few little things that maybe some character idiosyncrasies that possibly didn't really are they a 1983 kind of stereotype.
Mm,
But again, it's it, enough of it was this could be 1983, 1984.
mm.
It was passable, and it's not really something that I think anyone really needs to go, oh, I saw that was a 1985 Dodge.
Oh
That's
yeah,
so unbelievable. It. I thought it was fine.
cool. I have something that I want to bring on. Um, that I actually really like is so this book, which apparently is a real book, has
Yeah, the
been
the Turner the
yeah,
Turner
the Turner's
Diaries.
Diaries. Yeah, it's uh still being used in America, and at the end, for the credits, they're saying that it's been used for the U.S. Um,
Oh, the
takeover of the
January,
capital
yeah, the
in
January 6th insurrections.
2021.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And it is so funny that history is just repeating itself and that we are never learning because taking a
yeah,
minority or group of people and making them the scapegoat is something that is absolutely not new. It happened for World War II, it happened in the Middle Age, it has happened throughout history, and we just never learn. And something that is funny is how nostalgia works because now we're looking at the 80s and 90s with nostalgia goggles. There is a lot of movies that are coming and series set in the 80s and the 90s. And it's like it was the peak of our civilization. But that's just nostalgia speaking, because if you're looking at any metrics of human development, it was not a better period. It was less safe and less accepting, less tolerant. You didn't have as much life expectancy, any metrics you can look at. But what is interesting is that nostalgia is coming in waves. And if you're looking at maybe 10 or 20 years ago, what was seen as being nostalgic was the 70s. Now it's the 80s and 90s. And what is starting is the 2000s as well. And why do we see it as nostalgic? Because now the biggest cohort that is in art and entertainment, writing all the scenarios and making the art are actually millennials. And we're seeing that as nostalgic because this is where we grew up. This is when we grew up, when the world looked easier, when the world looked safe, because our parents were looking at a lot of the things. That's why we're seeing it as we didn't have to be adult. Now we need to pay the bills. Now we need to do a lot of things. And but at the end of the day, here, this is coming from a true story. And in the 80s, the same racist crap that is happening today was already happening. And that I like.
yeah. It's on to give 2 points to what you've just discussed. They actually were really worried about releasing this in late 2024 because of all the themes, because of obviously the presidential election, that they really wanted to kind of hold off releasing this film because of all of that,
Mm-hmm.
all of what, uh, the president is, his beliefs and his ideology. So there's that. Um, and going back on, nostalgia, I'm just going to make my own observation, my thought on that is that 1999 was the peak year of cinema. Maybe it's because I was 16, 17. I don't even remember how old I was, but it's possible because you're right. I was a child. I didn't have any of those core responsibilities that I do now. That's why those late 90s cinema and movie experiences stuck with me so much because it was easy back then.
Yeah, this
There you go.
perception.
All right. Let's get into our scoring for this one.
Yep,
Would you like me to go first?
go
I'm,
for it.
I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. I really liked it. There's things that could have been improved upon, but I thought it was solid. The narrative was strong. Just all the things that we've kind of discussed in the last half hour or so. Yeah, strong recommend from me.
I give it a 3.5 out of 5. Um, I liked it. I think it's a good movie. There are some very good stuff in the direction. There are good things in the way that they are approaching some themes, and I think it's very relevant today, even though it's a movie about things that happened 30 to 40 years ago. But it's still repeating itself. So I think that's why it's an important movie. I think the acting was stellar, especially from Nicholas Hoult. Um, then I think some holes in the story and different ways that I would have liked it to be handled in a different way to make it a stronger movie for me. Um, but still, it's I'm glad I saw it, and I think it's a good movie. I would recommend it.
All right. Well, thank you for tuning in, everybody. Please let us know what you thought of this one. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Please let us know in the comments below. And as always, please like and subscribe. It always helps us out a lot. Thanks so much, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.